What's up, guys? We're just going to go over the deck list real quick so we have an idea of exactly what we're using when I explain this curve. 4 ohms, 4 Saturis, 4 Shuras, 4 Holies, 4 5-drop Wipers, 2 Frankies, 4 Kalgaras, 4 Mont Blanc Nolans, 4 Wipers, 4 of the Katakuri block from ST20, 2 L Thors, a 200 million volts Amaru, a Flame Split, 4 Earth Will Not Lose, and 4 Upper Yards. All right, so we're starting off with Kalgara's 1 Dawn curve. This is when you go first and you get 1 Dawn starting. First Dawn, you're going to want to use Upper Yard to search out some of the key pieces you need. Kalgara, 5-drop Wiper, and then a 2K counter if you don't have any of those hits, or another Upper Yard. And then on your second Dawn turn, you're going to either drop a Holy or you can drop a Shura. The Holy obviously is going to take all your Dawn. The Sure allows you to do another search to try and locate some of those key cards you need. But also, it leaves up 1 Dawn if you have like the Earth Will Not Lose or an El Thor. It allows you to use that extra Dawn as counter, or you could attach it to your lead and attack for 6, hopefully pulling counter out of their hand through cards, or they take it and you pushing their life down a little bit. Third Dawn turn, you're going to attach a Dawn. You're going to want to bring out a Wiper. Wiper's key because he destroys stages, 1 cost stages to be exact. So you can destroy your upper yard, or if you're going against like a Reiju or a Teach, you can destroy their stage, causing a little more friction for them in their game plan. And that allows you to search your deck again for either an upper yard or a Shandorian warrior type. And then on that same turn, you're going to want to drop an Ohm, and that allows you to search and drop in a Holy. Hopefully you have these Holies in hand. If not, hopefully you find them on the search. We're going optimum here. Or on your third Dawn turn, this is where the tech comes into play with that Katakuri from the ST20 deck. You drop the Katakuri. It gives you a 6K body on board. But the thing about this card, it has an activate main. You can move a rested Dawn to one of your characters or leaders. So then you could move in that rested Dawn to your leader, and then he can attack, and you can bring in a 5-drop Wiper with that same on play, destroy a stage, and then you can do a search. So that's Kalgara's 1 Dawn curve. Now for Kalgara's 2 Dawn curve, on your first turn, you could do 2 upper yards, allowing you to search out some of the key pieces you needed, or you could search out a counter and a Kalgara, something that allows you to keep a little survivability. I prefer to do the 2-drop Shura. Shura gets you a search so that you can find key pieces you need, but also puts a body on the board so you can utilize him later if you need to do like a 3 Dawn extra to him to attack and apply some pressure. But then moving into your second Dawn turn, the best play here is going to be your Ohm. It's a 4-drop. It searches a Holy and allows you to play a Holy in, so you get 2 5K bodies off of 4 Dawn. It's 7 total Dawn utilized in bodies, but you only spend 4. If you don't have an Ohm, but you might have a Holy in your hand, you could drop the Holy, or you could attack for 5 with Shura, like I was talking about earlier. Both of these plays allows you to have 1 Dawn available, so you can attach to your leader when he attacks, and allows him to bring in that 4-drop Wiper. The 4-drop Wiper allows you to search out an upper yard and then play 1 upper yard from hand. So if you don't find an upper yard, but you had one because you played Shura, then you could play 1 again, giving you more utilization of Dawn through your characters, so that you're spending more than you actually have. Third Dawn turn, this is where we're going to bring in that tech card again. I was telling you about the Katakuri from the ST20. This card, I love this card. You drop him down. He can transfer a Dawn to your leader. Your leader can then attack, and you can bring in your big body, which is that 6-drop 8K Kalgara. The Kalgara is key because you want to have him there so you can get heals from Mont Blanc Noland. But this drop order is good because you're putting a 6K blocker on the board. You have a 5K leader. If they attack into you, you can save more cards, use 1Ks to counter out of it by blocking. And then typically they like to target the blockers to try and get them off the board, which means they have to add more Dawn to the typical character size. It's like 5K typically, especially if going like a Doflamingo or something along those lines. So he has a little better survivability. you can save life that way. But then you have that one Dawn up so that you could use like an El Thor or an Earth Shall Not Lose, that kind of stuff to just keep you healthy, keep your board healthy. Your board is the most important because you do have the opportunity to heal. And then on your other way you could go with your third Dawn turn, which is the typical setup for a Kalgara, you apply a Dawn to your leader, you attack, you bring out the Kalgara, and then you have 5 Dawn left over, which allows you to drop in the Mont Blanc Norland. You gain a life to your life stack through his on-play ability. So there's 2 ways to do it. I pretty much prefer the blocker way because there's a little more survivability. It allows me to block low incoming attacks. They have to utilize more Dawn, that kind of stuff. But then we go to Kalgara's 2 Dawn curve when you don't have Mont Blanc Norland available. This can get a little spicy, so some of the things that I like to do is if I have a Holy in hand, I'll drop a 3-drop Holy. This allows me to have 2 Dawn left over so I can utilize them for counter for things like the Earth Won't Lose, as well as the El Thor I was discussing before. These are great counters that allow you to protect your board and your leader. And then other options you can do if you don't have the Mont Blanc Norland is drop in an Ohm, and then he can search for a Holy and play another Holy, which allows you to have 1 Dawn left over for counter again, so that you can utilize some of that counter power that this deck has to stop those incoming attacks. So another thing to talk about in this deck is Kalgara's tech cards. I utilize 2 cards. One is the 200 million volts Amaru, and then the other one is the Flame Split. Now, the 200 volts Amaru is like one of those feels bad cards when it comes out of your life because it triggers trash 2 cards, gain a life. I have won games by this kicking off because they were utilizing their last attacks to try and finish me. And then I added another life and they didn't have enough. And then the next turn, they didn't attack my bodies on board. So I was able to just finish out the game due to the fact that I got 1 life they weren't expecting to see. It's great to use also for 2 Dawn because you can add 3,000 power to a character, which you could give to Shura, make him an attacking body, a threat. And then if your life card is 1 or less, rest up to one of your opponent's characters the cost of 4 or less. This is great because you're usually low life when it comes to Kalgara. And then some of these decks that people utilize have 1 and 2 blockers. This will rest a Rebecca, those kind of low level blockers that are just there to soak damage. And then you don't have to attack right when you utilize this. You could also, if you had the Flame Split in hand, you use 1 Dawn to give 1,000 power to one of your characters. And if your opponent has 2 or less life, rest up to one of your opponent's 4 cost or lower characters. You could effectively rest 2 blockers in 1 turn before you attack. And then, by then, most people will have 2 on the board. And then you have multiple attacks going in. They don't have their blockers up. These are key pieces of decks that people rely on to keep themselves alive. So having both of these are pretty good. And then as far as Kalgara's future, he's in a good spot right now. He's not as strong as he could be, but his future looks really good with not so much OP10. OP10 doesn't really have a lot going for him with cards that are coming out. What I'm really waiting on is the EBO2 release. EBO2 release has a very important card in there. It's the 10-drop, 11,000 power Anel. That's a Sky Island. And the key is if your leader has the Sky Island type, this character gains Rush. Kalgara definitely has the Sky Island type. And then it says, when attacking, you may trash 1 card from your hand. If your life has 1 or less cards, place up to 1 card from the top of your deck onto your life. Then give this character 1,000 power for this turn. So he effectively will heal you. He will get Rush. He will be a 12k body. This is one of the key pieces that Kalgara has been missing the entire time because their biggest body has been 8k. Now he has a big attacker that heals and rushes. This seems like a really good card that's going to be targeted towards Kalgara. I think it's going to put him back on the map as a contender for maybe not winning everything, but it'll be a lot of fun and you'll surprise a lot of people with what you can do with this card. The other card coming out of EBO2 that's going to be really huge is called Hey There. It's a yellow event. It costs 2. And the main is look at the top 4 cards of your deck, reveal 1 card with a cost of 4 or more, and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. This is exactly what Kalgara's been missing because you cannot search your Mont Blanc Norlands to heal yourself. And this card will allow you to search for Mont Blanc Norland because it searches any generic yellow card. So these two cards are going to be key. I'm assuming there's probably about 3 of the Enels being run and 2 of the Hey There's. I kind of have an idea of what I'm going to be pulling out, but I want to play test a little more to put these cards in here. So I think Kalgara has a good future, especially in locals where you show up with this deck and it hasn't been played a lot. I know a lot of people get surprised by how quick Kalgara puts bodies on the boards, but let me know what you guys think. If this is the type of curve you guys utilize when you use Kalgara, I'd like to know your guys' thoughts down in the comments. And again, this is just like a fun channel for me, so thumbs up motivates me. People subscribing to hear what I have to say or enjoy the content or just want to tell me that they liked what I did. You know, it keeps me motivated, helps me out, helps the channel grow. So like, subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.